Everybody, thanks so much for listening to Fire Breathing Rob. If you are listening to us, please like, subscribe, and share this video on any of the platforms, of course, and definitely do that. We're trying to get these interviews out to as many people as possible. Today we have the wonderful and talented Rhonda Harris Chaudhry on, and she is on, and she's going to be talking about an issue that's actually affecting everybody in the country and probably the world right now, but a lot of young people too. It's anxiety issues. We all need to calm down. I mean, if you're like me, and I know a lot of the people that listen to this, Rhonda, they watch the news 24/7. They're
Right.
worried about not wearing the mask, getting the vaccine, not getting the vaccine, Biden, Trump, Obama. The list goes on and on. Anyways, regardless, it's time that we kind of calmed down, relaxed, and took it down a notch. And Rhonda's going to talk about that. Rhonda, thanks so much for coming on to speak about this important issue today. We appreciate it.
It is my pleasure. I'm really glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
All right, so talk about this. What made you want to get involved in anxiety issues and making sure people calm the heck down in general?
Well, because of my own anxiety issues that I have had to deal with due to certain circumstances in my life, just to give you one example, because anxiety should be my middle name with the things that I had to go through growing up. But I would probably say the biggest example of that, the two biggest examples of that is one, in a 6-month time period, I unexpectedly lost my husband to cancer. And a month after he passed away, I went to the doctor with a stomach ache thinking I just had stress or an ulcer. Turns out I had a 20-pound tumor that I didn't even know was there because it didn't grow outward like a lump in my stomach. It grew inward and was just knocking my organs out of the way. And so I had to go through that surgery. I didn't, which didn't allow me to even grieve for my husband. And then 3 months after my recovery, when I went back to work, 2 weeks later was the economic real estate downturn, and I lost my career. I lost everything I had built up for 25 years. My home, my husband, everything was just gone. And I didn't know what to do. I was anxious. I was losing everything, getting bill collectors. I know a lot of people are going through this. Bill collectors, notes, and, now they text you and email you. And if you're in foreclosure, putting the notices on the door, you open the door, there's a big fat notice for the whole world to see. There's a lot going on. And then finally, I was literally 30 days from homelessness when I had to do something. I had sold all my jewelry. It killed me. The worst of it was selling my wedding bands because I had to eat and put gas in the car. I could get some temporary jobs, but it wasn't enough to pay for the lifestyle that I had been used to. And then finally, I was literally 30 days from homelessness when I said, well, if nobody's going to hire me, I need to hire myself. And so I had always had, a lot of psychic abilities. And back in the 80s, I took Reiki training and things like that. So I just started, putting the word out there. And of course, the universe helped me. But it was by staying calm. I had to calm myself down. I was having panic attacks. And so what I finally did was I said, you know what? I'm not going to concern myself with what's going to happen 30 days from now. For this minute, I'm safe. For this minute, I have a roof over my head. For this minute, I'm okay. And by pulling myself back into the safety of the minute, it pulled me out of the anxiety of the future, the fear of the future. Now I could focus because at least for right now, for this day, I'm okay. So I can get on my computer, I have internet, I can start working my magic and sending out queries and visiting metaphysical centers and things like that. But I had to live literally in the minute to start off with. And then eventually it was for this day, I'm safe. And then this week, it's okay. I got my bills paid for the week. And then it was, hey, I paid my rent for the month. So I'm good for another 30 days. Live in the safety of the moment. If right now you've got a roof over your head and you've got food in the fridge and you've got a car with gas in it in the driveway, for this minute, you're good, you're safe. And that will allow you to calm it down and focus on what it is you need to do, coming up with a plan to help yourself. So that's the first thing. And I wanted to, because I've overcome so much in my life by remaining calm and focused, I wanted to share that with so many other people, because it's very easy to get caught up in the anxiety. If you're facing eviction, they're like, you got 30 days and you're going to have to get out, or you get a 3-day eviction notice, or the foreclosure's coming up next month. You can be so caught up, oh my goodness, I'm going to be homeless, and instead, but you've got a whole 30 days that you can help yourself, that you can find resources, that you can make a plan. So forget about what's going to happen 30 days, 10 days from now. Live in the minute. And that's what I wanted to help to convey to other people, along with some energy work, easy energy work that people can do to stay calm.
So, first of all, thanks for informing us about that, because it's important. There is a lot of people that are losing their houses. They don't have health care. They don't have food, for that matter. The economy might be getting better for some, but not for the majority of working and middle class people. And we know a lot of those people are listening to this podcast. Again, if you're listening to us for the first time, it is well, first of all, please subscribe, and share. And you are listening to Rhonda Harris Chaudhry here on Fire, Breathe, and Raw. As we keep going into the interview, Rhonda, my thing is when you talk about calming down. Now, I'm originally from the Northeast, and I'm from Rhode Island, but we're not too far from New York, New Jersey, right, Philadelphia, and everybody's beeping the horn. They're acting crazy, yelling, screaming, fighting about nonsensical things. What would you tell those people about calming down? Because I'm thinking, Rhonda, that they're taking minutes off their lives because they're yelling, screaming, and acting like wild animals out there.
Okay, well, you should know that even though I live in the wilds of New Mexico now, I am born and raised New Yorker.
Okay, so you know the story.
Absolutely. And it wasn't, I came to New Mexico in 2002, and it wasn't until I got here that I realized what a stressed out mess I was. Because in New York, we're all stressed out, so you don't think about it, it's normal. But when you get around people everyone's chilled out, and there's no rush, you're like, you look like the crazy person standing in the grocery line, like, and everybody hurry up, and everyone's looking at you like, what's wrong with this chick? So I didn't know there was anything wrong with me till I moved. So the first thing you guys should know, my homies, I love y'all, but the first thing you should know is it's not normal for humans to be all stressed out like that. I know we live like that because we live, not for nothing, but New York is expensive as heck. And everybody's rushed out and stressed out, and they got to get to work on time. Doesn't matter if there's a blizzard. I was explaining to people here, if it snows, just one flurry comes down, they shut the schools down. And I'm like, you know what? In New York, if you have a blizzard, all that means to your boss is you need to leave 2 hours earlier to get your butt to work. There is no days off. And so just adjusting to a calmer lifestyle let me know what it actually feels like to operate calmly. And so what you guys want to do is to recognize that while you're screaming and yelling and road rage and things like that, the person that you're screaming at in the grocery store, you'll probably never see them again anyway. Let it go. Yeah. Just let it go. It's not worth it. They're not worth it. If a cab driver cuts you off, and listen, I'm the queen of New York road rage, cut a cab driver off before they cut me off. Dude, now when I go to New York, it's like, roll on, dude. It's all good. You got somewhere to go? Rock on. I'll get to where I'm getting when I need to get there. It's going to be okay. So let's bring it down a notch, because I understand, but you don't know anything's wrong until
How long
you're
did it take you, though? Rhonda, how long did it take you to get to that point of chilled outness? Because I want to get to that point. I'm still not there.
I would probably say it took me, I still have a measure of culture shock. I don't think you'll ever get over that as a New Yorker, because, and then you go back home and you kind of put that suit back on, and you go back out again, but it took me a few years, but also embarrassing moments. It took me, because here people say, good morning and how are you? And I remember when I got here, someone approached my window to ask me directions. And I'm like, oh my God, what are you going to reach in and take my purse? I'm rolling up the window. And they looked at me, their feelings were all hurt, And when I came here, me and my late husband, we went to go and register our cars and everything. And in New York, you know what it is. You take a number, your number is called, you state your business, you hand money, they hand you a registration, and then you get the heck out of there. You move it along. Here, everyone was talking behind the camera. Nobody's working. They're just talking. They were discussing Windows XP over Windows Millennium or whatever it was back then. And I finally screamed. I'm like, nobody's working. Nobody's getting anything done. And this woman stood up and she said, life is about waiting. You need to learn how to wait. And I said, I'm from New York and we don't have to wait there. We get things done. And she says, well, then you need to go back where you came from. And that was it for me. I stood up and I was going to smack her upside the head, but my husband pulled me by my pants and sat me back down and said, you'll go to jail. We won't get our cars registered and we came here for nothing. Let's calm it down. And so that kind of started making me kind of bring it down a little bit, because people were getting their feelings hurt. And I am compassionate. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. If you're in New York and you can come at me head to head, okay, we're going to go. But if you're just like this sweet little person, I'm not going to be a bully and beat you up. So it's just little things like that. Standing on the express line in the grocery store here does not mean it's going to move any faster. I will never forget standing there, and I'm on the express line for a reason. I want to get my crap and go home. And there they are at the counter. Oh, I see you bought pork chops. How are you going to cook them? Well, I'm going to be using my grandmother's recipe, and she used to brown it on both. And meanwhile, my hair is standing up. And finally, I'm like, excuse me, can you all talk about your recipes later? I got stuff to do. Everyone looked at me, and the woman who was talking, she was so hurt. Like, I hurt her feelings. So then I finally just started shutting my mouth and sucking it up. And now I'm the one who's going to the counter and saying, hey, did you ever try this particular brand of cookie? It's really good. I'm the one doing that now, which I have to admit, I enjoy holding up the line because they've done it to me for so long. So it is sort of a form of revenge. But, that's just between me, you, and your entire audience. Nobody tell anybody that. But it was because I was hurting people's feelings that I started to, calm it down. And then I said, you know what? I feel better calm. I'm not feeling like I'm a crazy person that has to get a million things done in one day. So it was actually enjoying the feeling of being calm.
Before we get into the book, and I'm going to botch this, but you are the Reiki master. And I know that was a joke because you're laughing, so I know I got that wrong. But what is a Reiki master?
Okay, so it's Reiki.
Reiki. I was somewhat close.
Term for it. But what that basically is we have our physical bodies, but we also have what we call an energetic, it's a biosphere, and it's our energy bodies. So for example, your physical body is here, and then you have an energy body, an overlay. And so the best analogy I can give you is if you think of someone who had an amputation, and even though their leg is gone, they're saying, oh, my leg still hurts, even though it's not there. They call it phantom pain. What's really going on there from a metaphysical sense is they took away the physical leg, but the energy leg is still there and it's still hurting and nobody fixed it. And that's why it feels like they still have a leg that's hurting, even though their leg or their arm or anything is gone. And so what Reiki healers do is they channel life force energy. We channel the life force energy to go in and remove energy blockages, which can translate to emotional blockages, mental blockages. So for example, let's just say you're an artist, you're a writer, you're writing a book, and now you've got writer's block and you can't figure out, why can I not write? I'm just sitting here and I'm stuck. That would translate to me that you have a problem with your sacral chakra, which represents creativity. So if I remove that block, you'll be able to write again.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically about energy blockages and removing them to keep your energy flowing constantly.
Wow, that's impressive. We should actually do that one time. I think whether we do it today or not, but I want to have you on again. Obviously, I said that on earlier in the interview. Maybe we'll do that for the, I can talk about some issues that I had. Maybe you can do that and we can have a
I
good
would
time.
love to. I can teach you so many techniques right now that you can do to lower your anxiety, clear your mind, and it'll take you like 3 seconds to do it.
Right. Well, I'm trying to see because I don't want to run out of time because I have to but I
I
do want to get.
understand.
Yeah, so we'll just do that for the next one because we could do that and cut that in and then put the. Well, I could actually do two more times. We'll do that one with the Reiki stuff and also some more anxiety stuff, and then afterwards, then we can go into a one for October for the or we can even tape it on the same day. Do the
I
October.
would love that. And can I just interject one thing
Yeah, go
that
ahead.
your audience can do right now to help
Sure.
them if they're feeling burdened or they don't feel successful or they feel like flops in life? First, two things I just want to tell you very quickly. One of the things that I did to help myself during that horrible time period was to remind myself that this wasn't about me. The universe didn't cause the real estate industry to shut down to give me a bad day. This was nothing personal. Because you can feel like that. Oh, I feel I have such bad luck. I lost my job now. What am I going to do? Bad luck, bad luck. It's not bad luck. It's something that happened. It's a situation that happened. And it wasn't because of you. A lot of people are in that. So reduce it to a situation. It's a situation. Situations can be handled. The other thing I want to tell your people, your audience, is that if you're feeling like a lack of confidence or you just can't seem to pull it together to move forward in life, do what I call emotional shape-shifting, where you go back to a time in your memory where you felt successful. I don't care if it was your first Little League baseball game and you hit a home run, or your first dance recital in your little tutu and everyone laughed and said you were great. Whatever that moment was, bring that memory up and flood yourself with the feelings of the success of that memory and then move forward. Because right now we're in this, I don't know, what am I going to do kind of a stage. But when you flood yourself with, yeah, I was successful, I know what that feels like, you can move forward faster.
So you do have that technique, how to go from crisis to calm in 30 seconds or less. Is that what you're talking about here, or this is something different?
That's something a little bit different. The crisis to calm in 30 seconds or less is literally pulling your scattered energies together into center, and then you'll feel better. I mean, I can demonstrate it for you if you want, if you have time, and if not, we can move forward to
Yeah,
something
and we'll
else.
do that, and then we can do the book, and then we'll end there.
Okay. Well, what I want you to do, Rob, and I know it's going to sound strange, but I want you to trust me. And so what I want you to do is I want you to take your fingers and make an L. Okay. And I want you to put them on either side of your head. Your thumb on one side, you flip that's it. Perfect. Now you're going to literally pull yourself together. So bring your fingers into center. And now bring your fingers down the center of your body, keeping it on your body, and just repeat, balance, balance, balance. Just bring it down the body all the way to the groin. Balance, 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 balance. To the end of the groin. Balance, balance, and balance. And just sit for a sec. When you're finished, there you go. Do you feel more peaceful?
Yeah, actually, I did.
And so that's something you can do. I've done it throughout the day when I'm like, yeah. So it's like, oh, wait, let me do that again. Balance. Okay, I'm good again. Let's rock and roll. So you can do that throughout the day. And basically, it's like a form of Reiki, pulling in your energy into center.
Okay. So when we go into the book, and let's go into the book, first of all, what made you want to write the book?
So what made me want to write You Are Not Broken, This Is It. And what made me want to write that is because of what I went through,
Yeah.
where, I'm here by myself and I felt broken. My husband was gone. I'm all alone. I'm recovering from surgery, all these things. And no matter what, I just couldn't seem to, I couldn't get back into the mortgage industry. I was a mortgage underwriter for over 25 years, which
Mhm.
pays very well. And I couldn't get back into that. All I could get was these little tiny jobs and things like that. And I felt like a failure. I felt like I had, it's not easy starting over in your 40s after you've worked your whole life and built yourself to a certain level. And then suddenly you're back at scratch. That was really tough. And I felt like a failure and I did feel broken.
Mhm.
And so by actually using the techniques that I use to pull myself together, even doing the emotional shape-shifting on myself, remembering what it felt like to be a successful underwriter and feeling that energy of success and then moving forward with what I was doing, I realized that a lot of people are feeling broken because of what's going on. And that's why I wrote this book to help them.
Okay. And then where can people find the book?
You can get the book on Amazon. There are like Barnes and Nobles may carry it still if they're not out of it. But mainly you can get it on Amazon. You can just look it up and pick it up, and it's You Are Not Broken, and it will help you how to learn how to even just figure out the patterns. I had to figure out patterns going on in my life that were keeping me from moving forward as easily as I could, letting go. I had to let go of the mortgage industry, but it was something I knew for 25 years. It was my safety blanket. I didn't want to let it go. So I wasted a lot of time trying to get back into an industry that was struggling instead of looking for something else that was economically more feasible because I didn't want to let go of being an underwriter and having all this money and things like that. Do it again. Have faith in yourself and have faith in your dreams and follow them. Do not have faith in COVID. Faith in you.
Amazing advice, Rhonda Harris Chaudhry. Thanks so much for your time. Again, before we go, just read the links of where the people can go to find you.
Yes, if you put in even just Google, put in Goddess Rhonda, all my stuff will come up. My website, you go to YouTube, put in Goddess Rhonda, it'll come up. And I've got videos on there to go to my playlists and you'll see some things to help you with that, especially if like you're super sensitive, go to the empath training playlist. But I just want you guys to know I have faith in you. I do. And I know you can do this. I have full confidence in you. It's just take control of your emotions, take control of your mind. Don't watch the news anymore. You already know what's going on in the news. You don't need the fine details. I can tell you right now, somebody got hit by a car, somebody robbed a bank. You don't need to know the fine details. Use that time to focus on you. Bring it back to you and what you're trying to do, and you will do it.
Yes, Rhonda Harris Chaudhry. Thanks so much for your time tonight. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Rob. Many blessings to you and everyone out there.